Hey. Oh, yep.
Really kind of struck something, and I basically started walking with God ever since. Yeah.
That's awesome. We love it. Nice to meet you, Leah.
You too, Aaliyah.
Now that round of applause, guys. Come on, support each other. Here we go.
My mic is on.
All right,
There we go.
Sarai, or Sarai, as she likes to be called.
Yes.
Hi.
Shut up. I'm Saray. Are we saying middle names too? Or?
Go ahead.
Okay. Saray Naomi Wallace. First and middle in the Bible. Anyway, I've been saved for 2 years in December because I got saved my freshman year when I was 14, and then born and raised in the church, and yeah.
We're here. All right. Nice to meet you, Sarai. Unless you got something else.
No. Yes.
Speak your piece. Come on. I know you got something to say.
Don't
be shy.
You have the floor.
I'm excited to see where this goes. To actually say my sermons that the Lord said, my ESPs.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, that's it.
We look forward to it. And as we say, we love you. I love you. We're in this together. We're gonna really grow. We're really gonna develop. It's gonna be amazing, y'all. I promise you. If we all commit to this, somebody's life's gonna change,
Uh-huh.
Oh, huh?
No, I was just agreeing with you.
So it is once again very exciting to be here. It's an honor to see each and every last one of you guys committed, devoted, and taking a chance on Christ, because it is a very important thing in our lives, especially in this day and age. And that actually kind of connects to our topic, which, as we all know, was consistency. And I want to start because this is going to be conversation based, guys. I'm not going to be talking at you the whole time. Daniel's not going to be talking at you the whole time. We're going to talk together. We're going to have a conversation. So how many of you have heard of a fishbowl? I know I have. Who was the dude talking to? All right. So a fishbowl, if you didn't know, it's pretty much a conversation or debate, roundtable conversation, delegated or orchestrated around a specific topic. And what you do is you ask questions, you develop concepts, and you really work and fold towards those. So since we're focusing on consistency, my first question for everybody is, what does that mean to you? And whoever wants to start can start. I don't really mind.
Pick me. All right, so.
Man. Me too.
So consistency, to me, it's like, all right, so I like to speak when I explain stuff to people. I like to give examples to go with it, because I feel like that's how I like to learn. I feel like that's how, believe it or not, that's how a lot of people learn, if you put stuff into terms that people can relate to. So a recent issue with me, at least, was so if you do something one time, okay, you did it that one time, and then you do it, and you say, say you do something bad, and you just do it that one time, that's a mistake. But then you do it again and again and again, you can't call that a mistake. It's something that's going on consistent. So it's purposely. So me, I say I read and pray every day, every night. If I prayed every morning and night and read every morning and night, for that one time, that wouldn't be consistent. But since I've been doing it every single day, I've been consistently praying and reading every day. Once you get into a habit of doing something over and over again, that's consistency. And I'm done.
I agree. Anybody else want to go next? Ali, I saw your face light up when I asked the question. Do you have anything you wanted to say?
Yeah, I kind of also think in examples, that's just the way my brain tends to work. Mm-hmm. I think of relationships specifically and how we always crave consistency and how we always want someone who's very who is the same over and over again. You know, sometimes that's good and bad, but it's like, you know, we want someone to continue to try and kind of be the same person. We don't want them to love us one minute, hate us the next, love us one minute, hate us the next, in that inconsistency. We want consistency all the time. So yeah, that's what I think of when I think of consistency, like how you behave on a day-to-day basis. Like, are you kind of wishy-washy, or are you the same person throughout?
Amen. Preach it. Preach it. Because, man, let me tell y'all something. Exactly what she was talking about, I kind of went through that. DJ and Sway already heard it. But, you know, man, you know, relationship stuff, especially, like, you're dealing with a lot of different things. And it's not always easy. They expect you, like, especially with expectation, I feel like consistency in that is also very important, especially at our young age of, I don't know how old and below. But I think that that's also very important because expectations do actually kind of dictate how we act. And as I think and see, so many people allow the consistent low expectations to rule their life better or more than the higher expectations we have for ourselves, which is very important in relationships, like Miss Aaliyah said. And I actually really admire that answer. You too, Brother Jamari. I didn't forget about you. But since I'm talking, my definition of consistency was it's the act of intentional repetition in order to achieve a greater goal. And it's a habit of the greatest importance, especially when it comes to developing a relationship, growth, respect, and character. And I think consistency is of high impact to all of our lives. So that's just my definition of consistency. And yeah, I just feel like we can all, add on to what everybody else is saying, but anybody else?
That was a good example to me.
Yeah, I was gonna say that consistency is kind of like habits, if that makes sense, or like lifestyles. Because like you, let's say like for school and stuff, right? You got to do homework on a day-to-day basis, like consistently, like do it well as well too. But that one day that you go like Orion is like, yeah, no, I don't need to do this one day. You completely flop on a test. I know that because we have homework packets in physics and other classes, and I don't do them. But like, so that makes me consistently like, do that on the quizzes and stuff. Like, I know what I'm doing, but I just don't practice because, yeah.
Ooh.
But yeah, and since I didn't build that habit, yeah.
Ooh.
Go ahead, DJ.
So are you basically saying that your habits are affecting your consistency in a sense?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Because like if I had the habit of like working hard, but I was a perfectionist, because I kind of am at times, that affects my consistency and rate of how I produce and how I do my work ethic in school, work, or even school. Well, I already said school, but like if you have a habit of being lazy and like not trying, can that affect your consistency towards your work, school, and relationships as well?
Are you asking everybody or just?
Or just me?
I think
that's for anybody.
Who's talking? You want to talk, sir?
You can go.
All right. So I think it's consistency is what makes habits. Like you don't get habits from you get habits from consistency. It's not the other way around. So like for me,
yeah,
I had to like forcefully like it wasn't a habit for me to like read and pray twice a day. Like I read once a day probably, and like that'd be like at the end of my day, like before bed. But like now I know it's like I was told that it's important to start your day off with God, so I had to fix some things off. Right, Amen.
I just have a question. So, are you kind of saying like a habit is formed based off of consistent action, or is consistency?
Yeah. That.
Habits come from consistently. Like now that I've been consistently making myself read and pray, it's become a habit. Like now it's the first thing I think of in the morning. But when I first started, like the first week, I had to like I messed up a little bit, then it popped in my mind. But now since I've like consistently done it, now it's first, or like going to the weight room and stuff. Like a year ago, when I was like all frail and skinny and stuff, it was like I had to make myself wake up and make myself go to the weight room. Now it's like without even looking at the clock, I could know what time it is and know what time I should be in the weight room, just because like I've consistently done it so long now it has become like a habit.
Yeah, also
You get
like
habits from consistency.
yeah.
So if
Like
you're
also
like being lazy, then now it's a habit. All right, sorry. Go.
That's right.
like like also for me, since I play the flute like in band and stuff, we have we have to be consistent with our music, like physically do well, which helps us build a habit of practicing. And last year I barely practiced my instrument, but now like since I want to do better and actually like be the top dog, which I am the top dog, but that doesn't matter if I'm not consistent or building that habit of practicing, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Let me tell y'all something. Like, she is 100% right. Because I just started picking up my saxophone again. I thought I still have the same skills, but doo-doo water, I'm telling you, man.
You're right. Tell the truth now. Tell the truth, man.
Yeah. It's only been a week. It's only been a week. And I'm like, Lord, I don't want to do this no more. And then I got my older brother telling me, hey man, you gonna play at church on Sunday? I'm like, okay. Like it's just a thing, like, but I'm starting it become, I think consistency that forms a good habit becomes desire after a while. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So like, as you say, once the idea of have to leaves, it becomes I want to, because you've done it so much and you're actually gaining something from it, like reading, praying, and eventually fasting. Even like, that's not an everyday thing. Please do not fast every single day, because that's not good. You die.
But not healthy.
If once those things become a desire, they take root inside of your heart. And I think DJ got something to say because he just smiled at me. But I think that is a core to efficient consistency. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
DJ, you about to speak?
Yeah. DJ said, I thought he had something to say. So I was like,
say the word, DJ.
Huh? I wasn't smiling at that. I was just smiling because you said you can't fast for every day. And then I thought about Jesus fasting for 40 days.
All right, it's an off topic there.
You think you're so funny.
Do y'all do that 40-day fast, like 40 days before Resurrection Day?
no.
Y'all want to do that this year?
You want to? 40-day fast. I mean, I'll do it.
No.
Like 40.
No, it's not like fat. You give up one thing you really love and you get rid of that.
Consecration?
I love food.
No, like, so like,
well, then give
what's
it
your
up.
favorite food?
Fried chicken.
No, I'm just playing. So like
for me, it'd be like rainbow Twizzlers. Like that would be something I'd be able. Like I remember when I did it before, I had to give up cookies because I was eating cookies every single day. Like
that's fair.
I don't know if fasting is like something that make your relationship stronger with God, right?
Mm-hmm. It's to make you more vulnerable.
It's like a modern day sacrifice, kind of.
Okay.
Like
what do y'all think?
Yeah.
Lee says yeah. DJ, Saray? Okay.
I'll
give up fried chicken, man. You know what?
Go vegan for 40 days.
Vegan?
You willing to do that for God?
Vegetarian, not vegan.
Like, okay, I think it would be, for me, YouTube, because that is one thing that takes up a lot of my time. And if I could get like distance from YouTube and spend more time in the Word, that would probably be a more beneficial fast for me, I think. So.
And for me, that can consider be football.
Football games, none of that.
Yeah.
I just feel like
TikTok.
Yeah. Like I feel like a fast should be to open space for God to work within your life. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's a good point. Because I always think food related things.
Oh, that can take your focus. I'm telling you. You find a good Chick-fil-A.
Rainbow Twizzlers. Pack on me.
Pack on me. Didn't you buy?
What's the next question of consistency?
All right, the next question is, actually, I want to know what you guys studied, actually, before we go deeper. Like, is there a specific section in the Bible that you guys studied, a specific story, instance? Aaliyah?
Like, okay, so like the way that I kind of took this on was like first I actually like looked up what the definition of consistency was,
Mhm.
because like I tend to like do that a lot is I look up the definition of something first. And I actually figured out that consistency also means firmness. So in firmness and being firm means strongly felt, unlikely to change. And I thought about Psalm 136, and that's kind of like the psalm where it repeats, the Lord's love endures forever, the Lord's love endures forever. And endure can also mean firm. So God's love is consistent.
Preach it.
It's very consistent. It's very unlikely to change. And I kind of just thought about like how it's like, dang, like God is so consistent with us. Why can't we be consistent with him? Like we desire that so much from other people, and he gives that to us, but we don't give it back. And
Right.
it's like, yeah, so that's kind of what I thought about.
Oh, wow. And you know what? I did do a study on that, and you were 100% right. Jamari, you have something to say next?
Oh, I agree. I was just agreeing.
Oh, okay.
That all sound right.
Anybody else want to go next? Or?
Oh, well, in that case, like I didn't specifically study. I didn't study a specific part. For me, it was like, I was like reading, but I was thinking, for me, it was like finding examples throughout like certain parts of how consistency relates to like God. And honestly, what she just said probably just blew me out the water. I didn't think of that. Yeah. But like, like I just finished the book of Matthew. I just got through that.
Yep.
And one thing in there was like how, example, like, I don't know exactly where chapter or verse or whatever, but when Jesus was talking about how you should go out and spread the word and don't deny me and this and that, like, okay, they were consistently doing that while Jesus was around, but towards the end, which, okay, I did know this story, but like I would pretend like I didn't know it. Like it was shocking to see like how Jesus says, like, deny me here, I'll deny you in heaven. But then like, so they're going around spreading the word, traveling the city and city. But then once the time comes and they like, who was it, Judas and Peter? I think Judas and Peter denied them, right?
Peter denied him, Judas betrayed him.
What's the difference?
I don't think Judas was around when Jesus was getting crucified. In that moment of,
No, he didn't. He wasn't.
Judas killed himself.
Yeah, Judas killed himself after. But Peter denied him 3 times, and he said Peter would deny him thrice.
But anyway, but like back to that. So like how he said that. So like if you're not like consistent, like for me at least, like now, like this year, at least every opportunity I've had to like talk to people about God and lead them on the right path and get people saved, which is a lot of people so far, which I'm surprised. Even like I just made a private story, Coronation, join it if you guys would like. Even there in the middle of like my little rant, I had stopped and like I recommend people like trying to build a relationship to God, like it's good for you. And then I went on with my rant. But like that's one thing, you can't like pause and pick and choose when to spread the word of God and when to worship God just because of the people who's around and people who's watching. It's either you like consistently talk about them, consistently spread them, consistently show your love for them, or you get denied. And that's one thing that made me like, that's one thing that I was able to tie to consistency.
Right. And sometimes you will be consistent, but you'll still get denied. And he talks about how if they deny you, they're actually denying him. So that's why we have to keep moving forward, whether people accept us or not, especially those of us on social media. Because they'll have their hate, they'll have their opinion, but as long as we stay strong, like Aaliyah said, stay firm. That is a form of consistency, staying firm. So
and then on my back.
No, go ahead. I'm just talking.
This wasn't like example. This I actually just thought of this. But like I was talking to my friend earlier, and I wish I could remember what I just forgot the thought. I forgot the point I was going to get to. So never mind.
All right. We'll have Saray go next.
Okay.
You said you had a message. Go ahead.
I didn't say all that. But for me, I said consistency like in character. like, like being about what you're saying about like, because in I was reading Isaiah, the new version, the NLT or whatever, and in chapter 58, verses 5 through 12. Well, and then verse 6, it said, this is about worship, by the way. Okay. All right. So it says, no, this is the fasting I want. Free those who are wrongly imprisoned, lighten the burden of those who work for you. Let the oppressed go free and remove chains that bind people. And then verse 7, share your food with the hungry and give shelter to the homeless and give clothes to those who need them and do not hide them from relatives who need your help. Right? And I would say that this is the true way that we're supposed to worship God. I'm going to get to my point, please. This is how we're supposed to worship God, like the right way, and not just saying that, oh yeah, I'm a Christian, but not actually like doing or demonstrating any of the attributes of a Christian. And then also with consistency, we have to have a consistent mindset, like being consistent with thinking on the right things and thinking about God and how, like Jamari said, how you can like help his people or whatever. And then, because like in Philippians chapter 4, verse 8, it says, finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue and there be any praise, think on these things. So then I just wrote down, it's like consistency is important not in only our actions, matching our declarations, but wanting to represent Christ the way we need to be in order for his people to be curious, and our mindset and our intentions have to be consistent with us saying that we are Christians and that we are living for God. So you have to do it with the intent to glorify him and not for your own personal gain. And that we have to think on these things so that we can help our mind to be stayed on him. And because it says, as a man thinketh, so is he. So if you're not thinking about those things, you're not really going to be showing those things. And if you're being consistent with those thoughts and consistent in renewing your mind too, then it can really help edify and grow.
All right.
That's it.
DJ? You busy, but go ahead.
Oh, my bad. All right. Did you call me?
Yeah, it's your tone.
Oh, all right. So it's me. So I take a lot of routes to certain things because when my brain gets going, it just gets going. I'm not gonna lie. I did this 2 weeks ago, so it's still kind of running, trying to get my brain running. But first, like Aaliyah, I like to look at definitions first to see like what the word means and stuff to understand like what am I getting at, what am I trying to find. So the first two definitions I found was acting or done in the same way over time, especially so as to be fair or accurate. And the second one was unchanging in nature, standard, or effect over time. So that was getting me thinking about, well, what about consistency with God, consistency in our life, or consistency in our walk with God? Because it's very important that we stay consistent when walking with God. Because if you don't, well, like I wrote here, like the importance of being consistent says that being consistent with God allows for relationships to grow and for you to grow in Him. Inconsistency can cause lack of trust, loss of communication, bad habits, doubt, slothfulness, lack of faith, and many more things. Those are just a couple to name a few. And while we're talking about inconsistency, because there's always an opposite to certain things, I was thinking about that, like, well, who was in the Bible, who was inconsistent? And I thought of the children of Israel. That was the first thing I thought about. I was like, man, these people were so inconsistent with them. I even wrote about like the things they were inconsistent about. It says inconsistent with God, always turning their back on him, doubting him, and leaving him only to come back when they needed something. Because of this, they missed a lot of opportunities, delayed a lot of things promised to them, damaged their relationship with God. This all happened not only because they were inconsistent with God, but also because they were very inconsistent in what they wanted. So that right there was like, wow, that's a lot of people today. Like, we don't know what we want, and we are inconsistent with God to the point where we're like, well, I messed up. How is it like like, how do I fix this? Let's go back to God and say, oh, fix this, and then mess it up again. And we keep being inconsistent with our relationship, and that builds turmoil, and that breaks relationships, that breaks bonds, that breaks habits, that breaks a lot of good things going for you. So that was a couple of things I was thinking. And then I wrote down a couple of scriptures. I have the hope scriptures for like how to like stay encouraged and being consistent. Like there's better on the other side when you are consistent. So I don't know if you're wanting to read them all. I'm just gonna read where they're found, not the verses. We'd be here all night if I did that. But for hope, I put James 1:4, Hebrews 10:23, Galatians 6:9, and Numbers 23:19. And for like consistency with God, saying like God is consistent, I did Colossians 1:17, Hebrews 13:8, Malachi 3:6, Psalms 89:33-4, and John 14:6. And then last one, just like I remember like what happens when you're not consistent and like the effects of not being consistent. I did Luke 16:13, 1 Corinthians 10:21, Matthew 6:24, and Revelations 3:15-16. So I know that's a lot, but that's what I did. So, so yeah, there you go.
I have one question.
Uh-huh.
So would you say, no, I don't know how to word it. Is inconsistency a form of a consistent? Okay.
I know what you're trying to say.
Is
You're
inconsistency
trying to say
a
it's
form of consistent habits?
I would say so. Like if you build like the habit of being inconsistent in people, you're consistent at being inconsistent. It's kind of like an oxymoron, but
Yeah.
it happens, to be honest, and like that is true. I've seen it happen all the time. Like for example, one of my friends, he's really smart. He's like he is really smart, but he's consistent in being inconsistent. So therefore his grades aren't necessarily where he wants them to be, but because you build that habit, you reap what you sow in a sense. So
Right.
yeah.
Okay. Thank you. I was just curious because I just like popped in my head when you said it. I'm like, okay, it's a good viewpoint. So I guess it's my turn. Well, since we were talking about the 40-day fast, I actually did study on that. And I was just, it's not too much or too in depth, but I was just thinking about how the devil would tempt him with power, prosperity, and things of that nature, and then challenge him or challenge his authority in God. And the most important piece to me was the fact that Jesus always said, "It is written," or "For it is said of his Father," which is God. So I just think, like how everybody was talking about, it's important to be consistent in our word, in our prayer, in our standing, in our character. So I just thought, like, that crossed my mind when I was just thinking about what everybody was saying. It's like Jesus was consistent in his word, in his actions, even like Matthew, like Jamari was talking about when he performed a whole bunch of miracles. There are two consistencies I noticed. It was the word immediately and the word compassion. How Jesus always walked in love, and whatever he had to do, he did it almost immediately, if not immediately. So I just found those two words, immediately and compassion, to be very important in those things. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
Well, now that I remember the thought from earlier, another thing that I was actually having a conversation with my friends is like, not only like consistently like trying to build like the relationship, but like consistently trying to live like how God wants you to live. Like Jesus said, like one of the most important ways to live is to keep it, like keep the commandments, keep the 10 commandments. So like premeditated, that's not living consistently, like consistently living the way God wants you to. Like the example that I had to use for my friend is one of her friends said they're trying to get their life back to God. And I explained, like, this is how you, like, this is some of the things you should be doing if you want to give your life back to God. And like, you should consistently be doing things like every day. It's not like just because God forgives you, you can go out and do like live right one day and live right the next day, because that's like an abomination. It's premeditated sin. It's not like God forgives. He said he forgives like what, 7 times 70 or something like that, which is like unlimited amount of time. But like, if you go out and steal and then say, well, God will forgive me for doing that, that's not consistently like living the way God wants you to. Like, it's more than just consistently reading, consistently praying, and consistently believing. You have to consistently live it too. I see you here, Emmanuel.
So it's like a consistent excuse to keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, like saying Jesus will forgive me and then turn around and go back and do the things that he wants you to not do. It's like, that's a bad example of consistency, I guess. But it's like still something, it's still like a habit that people can end up getting into. But it's more than just like, I feel like consistency, relationship wise as a whole, like you have to consistently do all these things and not just one or the other.
Right.
But that was what I had earlier. I remembered it now.
I like that, because it's like, when you just take friendship in general, it's like, God is our best friend, right? And as a best friend, you don't want to use them in that way. And as you're talking about, it's kind of like you're abusing their kindness. And
exactly. Like in a relationship. So like Aaliyah said, she's in a relationship. So like, let's say you're married, right? And you know that your husband will forgive you no matter what you do. Does that mean you should turn around and cheat because you know he'll take you back? Or should you consistently be faithful and consistently show that same love that he's showing you?
Right.
That's like an example I thought of.
Like that.
That's the example I like.
Saray, were you gonna say something?
You know the quote, Saturday sinners, Sunday saints?
Oh, yes.
Oh,
pretty much. That's
So
what this is.
Yeah. And I feel like that's a common misconception. I think that's a common misconception amongst people, is that they forget that. God dang it, I forgot what I was gonna say. But it's like they struggle with the idea of remaining away to be away. If that makes sense.
yeah, I do.
And I think somebody getting arrested. Shoot.
I think so.
But
low key.
I think when it comes to God, that's another thing. Like, you were talking about the 10 Commandments, Jamari, and then Ali was talking about remaining firm, and then DJ, you have something to say?
I was just saying 3 minutes until 7:40.
Oh yeah. If you guys want to go longer, I'll start another meeting in a little bit. I'll start another one.
I can go for however.
All right, I'll just start another meeting after this one ends. But like I was saying, fudge and chicken nuggets, I forgot. But no, I didn't.
What'd you say?
Fudge and chicken nuggets.
But
Mm.
yeah, firmness, consistency, and that's a consistency. That firmness, the 10 Commandments, and compassion. Those are like three key. I think those are three key things in consistency that you want to have. And those things are nurtured through the fruit of spirit. Like, those are the things you want to embody as Christians. And like Saray was talking about, how we live is our character develops in God in those things. So as people of God, the consistent things we want to portray are love, joy, peace, long suffering, gentleness, kindness, faith, and things like that. And you know, one thing I noticed that you can find in Galatians 5, right? That the works of the flesh are so much more than the fruits of the spirit. And it's like
it's so much easier.
Right. The fruit of the spirit is so much more simple, but it's scarce these days, because all you really see, like some of us, we do social media. All we see is like a lot of hate coming back and forth between people. We see a lot of strife and envy, lasciviousness, you know, all these consistent, outlets being used against each other. And you don't see a lot of love and compassion. And when you do, you immediately have that thought in the back of your head that this isn't real. You know what I'm saying?
Backhand compliment.
This isn't real.
Right. This isn't real. You can't trust anything because we have that consistent stigma building in the back of our minds that what we have to say isn't valuable, isn't worthy of somebody's attention, or the lifestyle we're living isn't noticeable. That's probably the biggest consistent inconsistency that we have to embody consistently to resemble Christ. And I know that was a confusing statement, but that's how it is. That's really how it is. If we want to remain strong in this walk, we have to stand up regardless of the darkness around us, as we know the end times are here. And
it's like where in the Bible it says like wide and long, I think. Wide and long is the path of destruction.
Oh, straight and narrow.
Go ahead.
Straight and narrow is the way. So it's like, not only that, if you see like everyone else doing it, you should probably stay away from it. But on top of that, like one thing I learned like through my own personal experiences is that when people see that you're being unique and people see that you're not like everyone else, it just makes them respect you so much more. Because they actually see that you're a leader and not a follower. Like I know recently.
That can be a double-edged sword though. I think that's kind of what Daniel was trying to say a second ago. Like they either hate you or they love you. That's like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like me, I don't think my haters got the balls to say something to my face because they know how to end. But like at the same time, I know there's like a lot of people who have met me throughout my life. And like people text me every single day asking me for this or that or telling me this or that just because the way I carried myself for a while and the way I acted, like it was different from the way everyone else was going. Like, yeah, I stepped up for a little bit, but I don't let people know when I step up. Like that's personal for me. But besides that, like people like notice when you're being different, and yeah, it can cause some hate. But at the same time, it'll also like even though they hate you or say they hate you, do they really hate you or are they just jealous because they're not at that level or that's something they can't achieve? Like for an example, me and my mom recently just like me and my mom have no connection with each other no more. That's like for some personal issues. Like for me, I always want to do something to be successful. So I made sure I went to college and I hung around. I tried to hang around the best people I could. Like I always wasn't out doing some negative stuff, or I was always working on my sports or being like trying to get more athletic and stuff like that. And my mom caught that being whitewashed because she did the opposite when she was younger. She said, I'm living whitewash this, that, or whatever. And it led her to down, like my mom isn't a successful person. Like she doesn't make a lot of money. That's like part of the reason why we don't celebrate Christmas because we can't afford it. And it's just like, that's just a choice she had. And now that she see me doing something, it triggers something for her. Like, yes, I know my mom loves me like I'm her son, but at the same time, it triggers something for her to talk down on me and push that to the side. Like, so she can say all the bad stuff about me, but does she really mean that about me? Or is it just that, is it something she can't go back and achieve? So it like, call it some sort of jealousy or hatred. Like all the people, when they see you living right and see you doing something different, they're going to respect you no matter what they say about it. It's always a level to respect about it. But the way they express it could be different. But being different from the crowd, you're always going to get some respect for it. And that's part of the reason why you should be like separated from that.
I agree. I think hate is kind of a reverse level of respect that they don't want to show.
Yep. Like another example, I'm pretty sure we can all relate to this. DJ commented on my video, but like I'm saving myself for marriage. And when people get so surprised when like people get so shocked when they hear that I'm doing that, and then they make virgin jokes at me, but at the same time, like honestly, I have so much respect for you because that's something I couldn't control. I wish I could have done it or something like that. So like they can make fun and say this, but at the same time, it's always a level to respect to it. No matter how much you say you hate that person, say how much you hate it, it's not that person. You're respecting what they're doing, or they respect what you're doing. They just hate that they don't have the chance to do it.
Mm. Would you say that like it's like a form of jealousy?
Yep.
Yeah.
I struggle with jealousy. Like, but my jealousy is different. Like I get jealous with like girls, but other than that, I struggle with that a lot. I'm like, that's something I try to fix. But other than that, I know jealousy is sin.
Yeah.
It's a work of the flesh. You say that?
Yeah. Our flesh wants to sin.
Yep. Our flesh seeks destruction. Go ahead, Siri.
Huh?
Go ahead.
Oh, I said you can't let it. You gotta crucify it.
Right? That's what the
Stake it
Bible-
down. Burn it. I know that sounds morbid, but it's what you gotta do.
Right. I believe that 100%. Like I don't remember where it was, but it's talking about we walk in the spirit, but not by. And like the flesh and the spirit, they don't mix or intermingle like that.
They don't like each other.
Nope. One's warring against the other while the other is fighting against the other. You either choose the lust of the flesh or the desires of the spirit. Yes.
Yeah. It's a constant war.
Hard.
And it is hard. It's a day-to-day thing. Like you gotta fight. Sometimes you want to slap somebody across the face and you just can't do it.
Unless they put your hands on you first. I know the Bible said give them your other cheek too, but in the modern day time, you're not about to get somebody's beat.
Rated E for everyone.
And I was saying today, yesterday, you ready to throw hands on?
I'm swinging back. I don't start it, but I finish it.
You don't start it, but you finish it.
Yep.
Well, what happens to let the Lord fight your battles? What happened to that?
Hold on, because Jesus not about to come down from the sky and stop a nigga from beating me a black guy. I just had a black guy not a while ago. And I actually, believe it or not, I did just get in a fight with my older brother, and I had a black eye, but I did not throw a single punch. Yes, his face was bloody and his neck was bloody. That's because I didn't punch him. I slammed his head against a couple of things, but I didn't throw no punches. That's because, like,
I mean, you told me.
that's because, like, he's my brother. Like, you can have that type of control, but at the same time, like, how much control do you really have? Like, he punched me 3 times, and I'm not saying Jesus wasn't there, but it's like he operates a certain way. So, long story short, if somebody put their hands on y'all have permission to hit back. I said turn the other cheek as an analogy. He didn't actually mean it. He didn't actually mean let somebody beat you to death.
Oh, no. I don't think he said all that.
That he said someone slapped off.
You can defend yourself now.
Hey, that's a slap now. Like, but if it's a full-blown punch, you might, yeah. I'm gonna have to get saved again, you know what I'm saying? Somebody. I'm not even a fighter, so I just get beat up. So that's just me. I don't fight.
You could just run away.
Huh? Be the next Martin Luther King. I have a dream. What was that? But but I did read a scripture that said something about.
I just cry.
You're crying? What? You can say it out loud if you want to. I cry all the time.
Maybe they'd feel bad and just like let me get away because they just see me crying my eyes out.
Oh no, she's
crying.
Oh my gosh.
What if they keep fighting though? That's when you call the homeboys up or something like that. Yeah.
We'll pull up.
That's what I thought. I get beat up too, so I don't know if I'd be able to help there. So but I brought up something that I was thinking about earlier. It's like, how do we treat our enemies? You know what I'm saying?
You're supposed to love them.
Yes.
I guess.
One thing for me, which I tell people all the time too, is like, I personally don't have no enemies. Like, if they don't like me, that's fine. But I'm never going to do anything to try to like make you suffer or get revenge or something like that.
Right.
I always think it's nice to like forgive no matter what the situation was, because like we said, like our body, our flesh wants to sin.
Even after a black guy, right?
Huh?
Even after a black guy?
Yeah, like me and my brother were cool, like right after that. Like we hugged everything.
That's how brothers are, I guess. You right. Yep.
But like your friend, like Tyler Young.
Oh, T Young? I remember him.
I don't think he liked me for a while. That's just like the energy I was picking up off him. But now it's like I assume we cool. Like he followed me on Instagram, he followed me on TikTok, and I followed him back on everything. Like I assume we cool now, but for a while I thought he didn't like me. Like that's what I was just picking up off him. But another reason why is because I was told that he cheated on Julia with Jay and Thrash. And I end up telling Julia after, like a while after, every 2 months, me and Julia got together. And I guess that like got around, but that caused her to say like she hates him and this and that. And I told her like, no, you shouldn't be doing that. If you guys were cool before, you guys should still be cool now. It was in the past. Like people make mistakes. You shouldn't like hold that against him just because basically I'm using that as an example. Basically, the point I'm getting to is like, if a person does something to you, you shouldn't try to like hold that against them or do something to them to retaliate. Like, you should always try to move forward. And like, I don't think it's like, you shouldn't have enemies, basically what I'm saying. Like, yeah, a person cannot like you and you don't have to do nothing with that person, but you shouldn't have enemies, if that makes sense.
It's not like you intended
Yeah.
to make it. Oh, go ahead. EJ? Is he alive?
Oh,
No.
yeah, I'll go.
Okay.
I get what he's saying. It's basically you forgive and like you wanna, I would say try and forget, but don't. It's weird. I don't know how to explain it, but for me, when stuff like that happens, because I have a lot of people that secretly hate me and won't tell me, and I know, but I forgive, but I don't necessarily like let it happen again. Because like, I'm not gonna go through the same thing twice with you. Like, I forgive, I love you, but I'm gonna be over here, and you stay over here, and we gonna, mind our business.
Right.
That's how I operate in a sense.
So in that moment, though, I'm playing devil's advocate here. In that moment, in the moment of oppression, in the moment of their attack, how do you respond? Like, what is your
what's
Yeah,
the
She unmuted herself.
Oh,
like, is
what
physical attack a
Yeah,
verbal
Leah
attack?
unmuted herself.
Aaliyah.
Elias? So hard.
Wait, Jamari, wait a second.
It was just like, I was going to say something kind of what DJ was saying. It's like the Bible like tells us to, love and forgive, but it's like, I think sometimes we think love and forgiving is letting people all over us and being best of friends with them, but that is not the case. Because I have learned so much about boundaries. Like, oh my goodness. Like, I used to think that love was simply like letting everyone in all the time and all of this stuff. But it's really not. Like, yes, you're called to love everyone, but you're not called to be best friends with everyone. Like, no. Like, you're not called to like necessarily like be in relationship with them all the time. Like, yes, you should love them as Jesus loved, but you should also know when to keep your distance because, God, like, boundaries are very biblical, and boundaries are so important to keep your heart guarded and protected. Like, God doesn't want people walking all over your heart. Like, no, because that's not guarding it as he tells you to do. And so it's just, I've had to realize that over time that like loving people and forgiving people isn't necessarily letting them have access to my life like everyone else has.
Right.
Exactly.
I love that. Go ahead.
Especially
you can go, sorry.
Okay. Especially like what Aaliyah said, I'm learning that recently with a friend I had. I had to learn boundaries and like put in the anyway, I had to put it in his place because we didn't play that over here. And I was like, dude, this man is stressing me out. And like I can't really let him in my life like that anymore. So we don't really talk as much, which is good because no ma'am. But yeah, like for loving your enemies and stuff, I would say like you don't have to, like Aaliyah said, you don't be best friends with them, but still be respectful to them.
Right.
Yeah.
Jamar, you want to go first or want me to go?
You go first.
Okay. I only want to go next because I'm in the same boat as Saray, except there was a female. I don't know if I told Jamari. EJ and Saray know, but yeah.
You did to me, I think. You told me like yesterday. I'll tell you about my female.
Yeah, we don't have that one anymore. So it was a year. We spent that, like, how for me, it's really easy to get close to people. Like, I have an odd habit of making like super close connections with certain people. And she just so happened to be one of those. So it started last year, the year before last year, December, talking. Then we get really close. And, you're like, hey, I like you. And then they happen to like you back. But I didn't want to date. So that happened. And that went on for a little while, a few months. And then she started getting interested in God, things like that. Did Bible studies, helped her, taught her. And mind you, she was depressed and stuff like that. But we actually worked on those things. She began to change. She began to grow in herself, began to realize who she was. But after because I got a revelation from the Lord. He said, wait a year. And then I told her, and then everything switches, you know what I'm saying? Like switch ups. So after a while, I'm just telling her, hey, I'm not going to be as available. I'm not going to be able to talk every day. I need some space because my focus is, and my only really real desire has been for a while, is to do what the Lord wants me to do and his will and purpose for my life. So I'm like, if I have to let you go, I will. So I told her this, right? I was like, okay, I'll give you space. And then here's the boundary part. It ticked me off. It ticked me off for a few days. DJ knows. So here's the thing. After it was, yeah. So she said, I'm gonna tell you that. She said, I want to spend the rest of my life with you. Oh, you don't want to trust those words. But I'm like, okay. And then within 2 weeks of saying, all right, I need space to do what God wants me to do. 2 weeks, she got an ugly one. And mind you, not even gonna lie, I should have left earlier than I did because I was getting stressed out because, like I was talking about earlier, they have, some people will set expectations that they want for you that they won't follow themselves. Like they won't do themselves, you know what I'm saying? Like they expect you to do this and do that, but they won't do it and reciprocate that same thing. So that's red flag number one. That's ticking me off. I'm like, okay, I'm doing all this opening up. I'm doing all this telling you my stuff. I'm doing all this, expressing myself to you, but where is that on your end? And you're like, it's been going on for a while. I should have, I'm getting worked up talking about it right now. So yeah, but this is just how I felt at the moment. It's like, wow. And I knew it. I knew I should have left earlier, but then this is a kicker. She came to church and things like that. She came to events, stuff like that. And then the first mistake was saying, I don't rock with your people. And she claimed to be a Christian, things like that. I don't rock with your people.
What do you mean by that?
That's what I was like, well, what do you mean by that? I asked her, she's like, people who dance, praise God, worship him, do things of that nature. Right.
She don't rock with us?
Right. She don't rock with us. I'm like, I'm thinking in my head, if you don't rock with that, you can't rock with me, especially if you say you're gonna spend time with me the rest of my life and the way we're going, you know what I'm saying? It's not gonna work. And then, okay. And then recently, I'm like, we have a little conversation because she said, praying can't heal depression, which it can't. I'm like, but God can.
It healed me.
Right. I'm like,
in a matter of hours, bro.
Right. Like he made the blind see. What you talking about? He rose from the dead. He made the lame walk. What makes you think he can't fix a chemical imbalance?
Go ahead, brother.
That's what I'm thinking in my head. And then in that moment, I was like, I have to go. Because not only was she disrespecting me, she was disrespecting my God. When you do that, you gotta go. You know what I'm saying? You can't, because is once it gets in you, it's like it's too important to just let anybody walk all over. Like Aaliyah was saying, I appreciate that you said that because that is so true. People will try to walk all over you because they think you're just this nice guy or nice girl who's willing to do anything and drop anything at the drop of a dime for them when they won't do it for you. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But don't disrespect my God. That's the one thing I gotta say again. You know what I'm saying? So I left. And you know how much peace I got now? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I bet it hurt. Did it hurt a little bit?
It did. I was crying upstairs praying like 3 days ago because I'm like, I still wanted to pray that he helped me. You know? Like, I don't consider him my enemy or anything like that,
I'm not your enemy.
No, but, and I always wish the best of the people that leave me and the ones that I have to leave behind. And I think that's the one thing with enemies, that you pray for them anyway, regardless of how you feel. And it's just like sometimes people can't go with you where you gotta go, and they can't be in that position with you because they might abuse it, like Saray. He tried to control you, and you don't want somebody to have that power over you. Jamari, I'm gonna say it, bro. That girl, not yet, bro. Not yet. I think she still thinks she has power over you. Oh yeah. And I want you, DJ. I just want you to make sure that that God is 100% first, and then
I told her this yesterday. Actually, I said I can't be with a girl who don't even have a good relationship with God, so we are just friends for now.
I know you texted me that earlier too, so I'm just like, just wanted to say it out loud today.
But back to my other point about, because I ain't gonna lie, that story sounds real familiar, except the part where she, like, as of right now, she is still trying to build that relationship with God and stuff. Yeah, I'm supposed to talk to her after this. I will give her a little Bible study after this. But about treating your enemies, I did have a point on that. Like, it's the difference between letting people, you can't let people walk all over you, and you can learn from the past and learn from the mistakes, but you shouldn't hold those against people, if that makes sense. Like, you can learn from them, be like, okay, you're like this, or this is how you were, or something, but until you prove otherwise, this is the person I see you as, but I'm not gonna hold that against you. I'm always gonna give, like, that person another opportunity to prove themselves, but at the same time, you can do that from a distance. Like, I don't know if I got an example for that, but I hope that makes sense. Like, you can like, okay, like, if a person cheated on you, because all this relationship wise. So if a person like cheated on you and y'all end the relationship or whatever, and then that person wants to come back into your life. Okay, you know that this is the type of person that they are. You don't have to let them back into your life, but you shouldn't, like, always hold, you cheated on me, so you're a douchebag, you're this, you're that, I hate you, that. You shouldn't always hold that against you. You can learn from it, and from a distance, see if they're actually different. If you feel like it, from a distance, see if they're actually, like, a changed person, but you shouldn't always, like, hold that over their head, because one, we are, like, it's hard, especially, like, the world we live in today. It's, like, so modern, and, like, you're supposed to go out, like, people promote it, like, people actually, now that I think about it, I made a TikTok promoting cheating today, but I'm not that type of person. But
jail.
like the world we live in today, like, people promote that and, like, think, like, okay, if you're not doing this or not doing that, then you're supposed to be like that. So like, we want to do that. People will mess up and slip up, especially if they don't have God on their side. People will slip up. At the same time, as you grow older and mature, people change as well. So you're not going to hold that mistake from, okay, if it was yesterday, I'm going to hold it against you because it was 24 hours ago. But, like, okay, say this happened a year ago and you come back today. Okay, I'm not going to hold this against you. I'm not going to forget about it, but I'm not going to hold you again. I'm not going to hold it against you and like, treat you wrong because of it. Like, I'm still going to treat you with respect and like a loving normal person, even if you are my enemy for cheating.
But your trust is just impaired for a season, right? Like, your trust is a portion of that relationship that is impaired.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, Saray, do you have something to say before I go on?
Oh, wait, okay. So, I was watching Diary of a Mad Black Woman like a week ago. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Or whatever. And that's kind of reminded me of that. Like, how Helen, that's her name, right? How Helen, she, like, bodied Charles and, like, pushed him in it. She was like, oh, are you hungry or whatever? And then pushed him in a tub, and how she, like, wanted to kill him.
Yeah.
She could have. She actually could have, but she didn't. And, like, with forgiveness and stuff, and she learned to, like, love him. Well, like, deal with him. Tell me watch. Anyway, I made a deal with him, and how, like, she almost married him again too, which is kind of stupid, but whatever. But she found Orlando, right? And so that she was able to still, it was Orlando. Anyway, and then she was able to still, like, forgive Charles and deal with him, even though she wanted to, like, kill him.
Right.
She better than me, because
you would kill him.
Throw me out my house. I wish you would.
Hey, you didn't take half of everything with the chainsaw.
Half the piano.
Bro, but those both got me thinking about bread for some reason. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ever need bread? No,
I don't think so.
You saying
You wanna make a
bread or
sandwich?
bread?
bread. You never needed bread like to make like a loaf. You ever
No,
done it?
never again after my incident. No.
But you've done it before, right? Or like make dough for a pan for like something like bakery based.
Like
You
some
mean,
donuts?
No,
Dough?
you guys don't bake?
Batter?
Dang.
No.
Yeah, like batter, baking a loaf of dough or something like that. Pizza, if you make
No.
pizza. I was thinking like there's a constant motion you do, the circular motion.
Kneading?
Huh? Yeah, like kneading.
Kneading?
Kneading is more so the folding. Ooh, that's good. Yeah, Jamar, you got it. The folding.
What? What does that mean? I'm
Oh,
lost.
You know
What
what
is
kneading is? The folds.
I
The
think I
folds.
got it.
As you continue to like, as Jamari said, or Saray said, like they changed, but there's still that minuscule fold within them that also almost impairs your trust within them. You know what I'm saying?
It's
That's
like
why you
looking at
gotta
it, you want to
trust
kill him.
consistent.
It's a fear of it, of a consistency. You know, trust, like losing trust, brings forth a smidgen of fear that is constant in your perception of them after the act is already done.
Oh,
And then you
okay.
never trust them the same again. Or
Right, because that
Change
fold
your
is still in
outlook
the
on them.
yeah, that fold is still within the bread. You can't push it out as much as you try. It's still
the
in the
air
back of your
pocket.
mind. Right. I was just thinking about food for a second, so I can't know why.
That's why you watch from a distance, though.
Right.
Like you don't hold it against them, but from that distance, or like not from a distance, but y'all know what I mean from a distance. Like, see if this is gonna do. Like, if I gave you some moldy bread, and then I came back and you ate that moldy bread. For some reason, you didn't know the bread was moldy, and I gave it to you and let you eat it. And then I come back again a year later and got some fresh baked bread for you because I feel bad and I changed now. I got some fresh bread for you. Are you gonna test that bread again? If I'm standing there in front of you, I'm like, I promise you, like, yeah, you go test that bread out before you actually eat it.
I mean,
That's
You
it
eat it
depends on
first.
how good the
Not
moldy
eat it.
bread was.
I know you're right.
You eat it first.
That's the thing with, like, relationships, especially like relationship with your enemies.
Right.
Like, you shouldn't hold people accountable or hold like me. I told you the bad stuff, but like
Yeah.
if she did, I'm be honest, I made some pretty dickhead moves too towards her. One of the things I did the most is like instead of talking to her about my problems, if she did something even like slightly like if she posted on her story without texting me back, I blocked her on everything.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Oh wow.
You know, 'cause it sounds like something that I used to do.
I'm petty like that, and I think
Y'all crack me up.
About that earlier too.
No, you can't talk to me. You did the same thing.
Or you said the snaps were going up.
yeah,
Hold on.
Yeah.
What's your name again?
it went up by
Snap,
3 before
snap.
she responded to me.
Yeah.
The girls are fighting.
I'm actually the only person that don't do that.
Right,
Like,
guys.
man.
The
Sometimes
most I
you
would do
gotta
is
just
look at
go
the
through-
snap map. That's all I would do.
See,
That's the most I would do. Is snap
If
map.
I would have stayed and I saw that, I probably would have went off on her. Like, nah, use some poetry or something. Yeah, you know,
Cool. Happy
Yeah, me
birthday.
how you like them bombs?
that's one thing with like me. It's like and me and like for us like that I did that we worked through. Like last time I did that was in October, so I have gotten better at that.
Mhm.
And but yeah, it like took her some time to like actually believe that I'm like not doing that, and like I won't do that. Like I'll communicate first before I get mad and block you on everything for posting my story without texting me back. Even if it's like me personally, I feel like that's a sign of respect, but she always posts on her story like constantly. She spams her story, so it's like whatever.
I mean, that's fair.
Like, it is what it is sometimes, you know.
It is what
As long as
it
the
is.
snaps were not going up, but then like that's another thing. Like on her end, like me and her talked about it, and now she hasn't done it. She did it yesterday, and that's why I was irritated, Emmanuel, because me and her talked about it, and then like a week later, it happens again. But then after that happened, she was like, oh, my bad. But I was already irritated at that point. Because like I feel like you should consider this all the time. Even like we're not together anymore, guys. Don't worry. So I guess the rules are I guess different. But that's what I've been expecting this whole time. I feel like this is something that I should still be able to get, even though it's like, I guess our boundaries are different now, but still.
Yeah.
I forgot where I was going with this. I think I was ranting at this point.
Patience would be very important to maintain control over some of those emotions and reactions. And that'll come through consistent work and effort on those things. And God he'll guide you in that area, because I tell you.
He gonna give me patience.
The thing I know that I am patient with is listening. Like for me, one of my favorite quotes is a wise man knows nothing, which basically means you always have something to learn. No matter how much you know, there's always something new you can learn. Yeah. So one thing that I do, like even people I disagree with, no, I don't have anger issues. I'm a kind-hearted man, to be honest. I'm just petty, that's all. Like if you do something to take me off, I'll take it.
I don't know. Petty and angry sounds a little bit,
They are, but like for me, it's like, even like for me, it's not like petty. Like if you do something minor to tick me off, like if you can somehow find a way to make me mad, I'll take it to the extreme to get you back. And I guess that's like revenge, which is a sin. But
my boy.
That's well, then I got angry. To this day. That's always something I struggle with. Like in terms of patience, like yeah, I can sit there and like listen. Like even if I disagree with somebody, I can sit there and listen to them for an hour. And out of all the things they say for that hour, if there's one thing that they say that can get to me, which normally happens all the time, because that's what listening does. That's what listening does. You always have some time. Then I think the whole thing was worth it. And that's like one thing I do have patience with. But in terms of emotions, and like if I expect this from you and you don't do it, I don't care if it was a mistake or not. I'm gonna get something. I'm gonna do something to get you back. So I gotta work on that. But
first,
I can help you with that.
Is acknowledging it.
Like I think I know my issues. Like I got jealousy issues. I'm petty. People say I'm cocky. I personally am just really confident in myself. I'm confident in the stuff I can do. I know what I can achieve. So if someone tells me I can't do something or I'm not like this, I'm just gonna go ahead and wrong. An example is, I don't even know if you heard this, but Emmanuel, but mostly throughout high school, people say I sucked at football. Did you ever hear that, Emmanuel?
Oh no, I never heard that.
People used to say I sucked at football, just to go from being a bench warmer to I put in the work, but you can't tell me I suck because I know I'm not suck, but it's not at that level yet. And I went from being like sitting there to being the starter to getting different college like recruits to play football. So it's like, I'm of course I'm gonna talk about it, because how you gonna tell me I suck about it and now I'm doing this and what did you achieve? So I don't think that's cockiness, that's confidence. But if it's cockiness, then I have cockiness problems too, I guess. But I can admit it too. Like I'm not ashamed to admit my faults. Mm-hmm. That's how you learn and grow.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess I'm. Oh, go ahead, Edith.
No, I was just gonna say he was just like me. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I used to have anger issues. Y'all know from the start, I used to be the one to get y'all back, no matter what the cost was.
3.0. Mr. Kill Your Brother.
Oh yeah, especially in basketball. I know, Joe. I was out to get y'all. But no, I get what you're saying, Jamaro. It takes a lot of patience, because I used to go off on the mouth a lot. And they can contest to that. And really, God will deal with you with patience. If you already can listen well, what I do is I take a deep breath. I wait a minute. I think about it, because I read somewhere that anger only lasts for like a couple seconds or like a minute, and you choose whether to act on it or not. So either I'll be like, okay, or I walk away, or I most politely try my best to respectfully say what I gotta say. And that might come out of pocket sometimes, but it's respectful to the best way possible. But like if you pray on it, you like really it's just like prayer and like really like consistency and like practice. Like I get. Do you have a younger sibling or an older sibling that gets on your nerves a lot? Just take it one day at a time. Like try those steps on it. Trust me, it helps.
All
It
right.
helps a lot.
I'm like good at ignoring people, but like people I'm close to, or like people who like I have an emotional connection with, they can get to me. Like my best friend Dom, he can say or do something to like twitch my nerves or whatever. But if you were to tell me that same thing, I would not care at all. It's just like for me personally, it's just the people I have like the connection with. And that's, I guess, where I really have to work with my patience. So,
Wait, would you say?
consistency.
Gotta
What did you say?
I was gonna say, would you say that they're like the reason they tick you off is because they're overstepping your boundaries?
Yes.
That's where you gotta
take advantage of my kindness.
That's easy.
I think that's where a lot of us
Gotta play
struggle. Yeah. It's like we don't know how to
taking advantage of our kindness.
Yeah, like we don't, and we can't find a way to express how we feel in a respectful manner because we have all this pent up stuff that we want to say or do. And if we do it or say it, something's gonna change. And like, it's not gonna be the best way for any of us. So I think that's something we all should with fashion and form.
Mainly because like
it's
Huh?
like
Right. Aaliyah gonna say something.
Yeah, let her talk.
Okay, so like basically I wrote this down and I was like, this goes back to consistency. I was like, lack of consistency gives a devil an upper hand in your life. And because I don't know if y'all have noticed this, but like, or if it's just me, but like anytime I'm not consistent for like a day, literally everything just falls apart. Like I swear I can't think straight, I can't function, I'm angry. And it just like I can't function. Like if I go a day without reading my Bible, it's just like next time I go to open up my Bible again, I understand nothing. I don't even know. I can't remember the story about the Israelites being led through the wilderness. I can't remember nothing, and everything just doesn't make sense. And so it's like to me, consistency equals peace. Like when you're consistent, there's going to be peace there. But when you're inconsistent, there's confusion, and we know the devil loves to use confusion. And so it just kind of goes back to the whole relationship thing because I've had like my own history with that, and like that's why Jamari, like I haven't been like judging you. I laugh because I relate to it. And so like just the fact that like when someone's consistent with you, you have peace. You know, it's like you can trust that they're the person they say they are. But when they're inconsistent, you're confused. You're like, do you love me or do you not? Like I can't tell, and it makes you angry. And so, yeah, I just feel like the lack of consistency just makes it, the devil just loves to work off of that as soon as you're inconsistent, even for a moment. And even anger, he loves to work off of that too. Because like there's a verse somewhere, I can't think of it, so it makes me really mad. But it's like, don't go to bed angry because it gives the devil a foothold over your
don't
life.
sleep on
That's
your
what my
wrath.
mom always
About
say.
that. Let not the sun
Last night.
Don't sleep on it.
Real, because I used to take naps to avoid my anger. If I was mad at someone, take a nap. Just take a nap. But then I would wake up. It doesn't go away. You're still angry. You just forgot about it for a little bit. And it just, it's not good to go to bed angry. And anger is just one of those emotions that the devil like loves to play off of. That and like jealousy. So I feel like jealousy can result in anger sometimes, depending on how your jealousy works. And it's just like, yeah, so that's just something I wanted to point out.
I got some issues, man.
That's okay. We all do.
Especially with the
Trust me.
anger.
Dang, I feel like she just called me out.
Nah, you're straight, bro.
Like, those are my two biggest issues: jealousy and anger. If anger and pettiness is the same thing, then my two biggest issues is jealousy and anger.
Yeah.
But I don't get angry often. It's just like if you can get to that level to do that to me, then that's when I don't care who you are, I'm gonna put you in your place. So that's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Including my mom. I read the text message to my mom, man. You right?
I did.
Yeah, I don't care who
That
it
was
is.
some hefty stuff.
I'm the man.
That was way. I was like, yeah, that was hefty, but those things will change over time, I believe. And I witnessed it in Brother Daniel, because trust me,
the nicest kid people perceive me to be. And that ain't the truth. It never was.
There were
people
times I
thought.
feared for my life. Literally.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were tears shed and blood
Woo.
spilled, and it was not fun.
I never did that much. I never.
Girl,
At least
stop
you had the
playing.
air one. That you know how scary that was. I was like, ah! That's
Wait,
another.
which one?
When you
The
jump in
basketball?
the air, yes,
Try to kill him in basketball all the time.
and
What
that's
are you
just,
talking about?
and that's one of my problems. That what is it? I'm too laid back, and when I have a lot of energy, I annoy whoever I see. So yeah.
Mhm.
I feel like for me, when I get mad, I just shut down. As y'all saw yesterday.
Yeah.
That's good.
I just
Mhm.
That's like a way of controlling your anger.
How do you communicate it?
I don't.
Exactly.
And then that's my problem. I don't communicate it.
Oh, I feel that. That's what I do when I'm stressed. I don't say a word. Like I go dead
Yeah.
silent.
Yeah, like if I'm mad or if I'm stressed out or if I'm frustrated, I just stop. I just shut down.
Right.
Like it's like don't talk to me.
Like being stressed and being angry, like different for me. Like when I was stressed, like all last semester, yeah, I shut down. And I like,
Yeah.
but when I be angry, like I said, I'm gonna put you in your place. So like if you verbally say something to me, I'm gonna verbally say something. Like it depends on who you are. Like if you can get to, like not a lot of people can get to me, but like if you can, if you have a way to get to me and you tell me something, I'm gonna tell you back. If you come up to me and just start swinging on me out of nowhere, you're gonna end up in a hospital. Like that's how I work. It's just like, but like stress, like being stressed. I actually don't think is being stressed. Like, no, is that a sin?
That's a part of life.
No, stress
Yeah,
is a
that's
part
just
of life.
So like the
It's
way
what you do with the
I guess
stress.
the way you handle it is like you can get angry from stress,
Right.
but can you get stress from anger?
Yeah,
You can get angry
I
from
think-
stress. Wait, would you say that some sins derive from like how you handle certain things?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's how you handle the situation.
It's really how you handle it versus what the situation
How
is.
yeah.
Like you can get
That's
mad because that's a
wild.
natural reaction, right?
Instead be angry and sin not though.
Yeah.
God
So
gets
it's how you
angry,
handle the anger.
but God gets angry when
Oh,
we do
yeah.
stuff.
Oh really?
So showing emotion, having those emotions isn't really the sin. It's the way you react to it.
Right.
Yeah.
How
So
you
what about jealousy then? Because that's another. So jealousy, like, okay, jealousy is wanting what other people have, but like
right.
my type of jealousy, like the only, like I don't want what anyone has. Like I want my own stuff. I know what I want. But like my type of jealousy comes like relationship wise or friendship wise. Like I guess it does. Like if I see my best friends hanging out without me, I'm gonna get jealous. Or like if I have a girl and like another dude calls her cute, I'm gonna get jealous. Like that's just how it is. But like
I don't know if this is a good question.
I feel like that's natural though.
Yeah.
You know, like
yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Maybe I don't choose.
And you could be worried
I don't
about
think
something
so.
that you don't even know you're worried about, like like somebody might abandon you or something like that. Because that's how I used to be too with my closest friend, old closest friend, Derek. You know Derek Travis? Remember him? Skinny black dude. You went what's it called, Silverbrook?
No, I moved here in 8th grade.
8th grade. Okay, so you didn't meet him. But yeah, that's how I was. Like if he was ever hanging out with somebody else, because we were like tight. Everything we did together. And if I saw it with anybody else, I'd be like that. Like I'd be wondering, like, hey bro, what's going on? You didn't tell me about this or anything like that. And I didn't, it's just like you feel excluded, right?
Yeah.
I feel like abandonment is probably one of the biggest things for me, especially because I've had a lot of close friends leave unexpectedly and come unexpectedly, and I leave. Yes, I think abandonment is my thing, but what about you, Jamari? What do you think actually breeds that feeling for you?
So for me, it's not like, I feel like not being considered is what, because like, if he tells, like I use Dom, for example, like if he tells me like, hey, I'm not gonna hang out with this or that, which normally he does, even though like we're not in a relationship or anything, but that's just what we do. Like then that's fine. But then like, say he's hanging out with two people that I know too, then like don't tell me anything and just posting all over it about it and stuff. Then I'm like, why? I get upset with that because like, why wasn't I considered to do this or something?
Right.
Or like, for like the jealousy part. Like, okay, yeah, I get that I'm with you already, but why is I get upset because why is somebody else showing you this attention if I'm already, and I like, even if they don't respond to it, it's just like, I don't know. I feel like it's just the situation part of it. Like that's how I end up reacting. Like I don't know if jealousy, I guess jealousy and anger for me ties together. Mm-hmm. So like if I'm not considered to that, then I'm gonna get mad that you didn't consider me to hang out, and I'm gonna get mad that other people are showing you attention if I'm like right here. It's just, I don't know. That's just how it is. I don't know what triggers it, but that's just how it is.
Okay, I got you. I forgot what I was gonna say too. Or like when your friends, they say they can't hang out and they end up hanging out with somebody else.
Yep.
Go ahead, DJ.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, because I know what you mean. I completely understand all of that. I don't know how, but somehow, because like y'all hear me like talking about it quite a few bit about like, oh, nobody hang out with me. I don't get invited places. But one thing God has been dealing with me about is like, how do I perceive it to be? Because so you can look at it two ways. Like, man, they didn't invite me. They don't care about me. Man, so now, or like, why didn't they choose me? Or the way I'm starting to look at it, like, what are they doing there? And maybe I shouldn't be there because there's some stuff they do that I don't do. So what if God's protecting me out of that? Or like, what if God's like saying, or like maybe it's a sign that maybe you need to be around different people. You know, that's how I look at it, at least, because I don't know your friends, so it might be different for you. But for me, that's just how it's been. And like, yeah, I do get sad. I get that. It does hurt, like to see people have fun without you and you not even be considered sometimes. Or people have these like stigmas or things about you and they don't tell you why they do certain things. But like my dad always says, control the things you can control. So I just say, it's gonna sound cliche, but I just focus on myself. That it sounds cliche. And like the more you really start to love yourself, it'll be like, oh, they're lost. That's not my problem. They don't want to hang out with me. Oh well, they missing out. Like eventually those right people will be like, hey, I invite Jamari anywhere. That man is chill. Like that's my man right there. Or that's my man's. He showed me the love and respect I need. That's all I need. God in him, Jamari. I'm saying you never know. You never know, man. You understand? Just keep your head up.
Is that like that saying like every cloud has a silver lining? Is that what that similar like related to? Like you can look at the good sides or look at the positives or the negatives.
Yeah. Because trust me, I used to be a very negative thinker. I found that I have a tendency to look at the bad before the good, but then like the more I start to look at the good first, the easier things get because it builds faith and optimism, believe it or not. So I advise instead of looking at the glass half empty, look at it half full, because it will make a difference in your thinking and how you perceive issues like that. And because trust me, I know like the jealousy you're talking about, I completely understand. I really do. But in the end time, it comes between you. Like, do you love you for you? And are you okay with being with just you? You know?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because like I said, some people find me cocky, but I just see it as confidence. Like, yeah. I just admitted my like faults, but at the same time, like I don't say think I'm better, but I like to think highly of myself. Like,
yeah.
Like, no, that's like, good. No, like you could call me ugly. Like that won't bother me. Like I know I'm good looking. Plenty of people tell me I good look. Like I get compliments a lot and everything. Like I already have the confidence to think I'm like attractive. You know, I'm ugly to you. I personally think I'm attractive no matter what. Or like another thing that's important to me is like my athletic ability, because like I'm still in sports. So like people try to down talk my athletic ability. Like I know I can show you up in this while you're talking. Like I don't care what you have to say. I'm just gonna prove you wrong. And it's just always like a level of proving something wrong. Like I just think highly of myself, and that confidence didn't come till like probably like middle school or high school. But like at the same time, the people around you, like if there's some like a random person, like my friend Waylon just texted me, like yeah, me and Waylon. Yep. Me and Waylon, like, but if he thinks something negative about me, it wouldn't affect me at all. But like my friend Dom, if he thought something negative about me, I'm like, okay, we're just like this. You know the person I am. How come you don't see me the way I see me? It's kind of like looking for approval, I guess, just because you know the effect or impact other people have on me. I think that's like, I think that's where it comes from for me.
I get it now. Because
Like
I get
literally,
it.
like unless me and you are like tight, like out of everyone in this chat, Emmanuel's the only person who could probably like call me out and it actually like hurt me. Like if anyone else in this chat noticed I was doing something to call me out on it, it wouldn't bother me. But if Emmanuel saw me doing something to call me out on it, yeah, it'll get me thinking. Because me and Emmanuel been talking for a year now. It's like me and Emmanuel built that type of relationship where we can talk to each other about things and compromise and fix each other things. But like if anyone else in this chat, no, I wouldn't care. Like it wouldn't. So like Emmanuel will be that person who I'm looking for approval from, not everyone else, just because that's like the type of relationship we have. So I think that's like part of like, I guess that's another part of the anger and jealousy or stuff like that. But that's
Wait, so do you view your relationship with God like that? I'm just asking questions. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just curious.
yes, I do. Like when like I'm not saying, because I know God does speak to me in like certain ways and stuff, and like especially like recently, like the stuff that's been happening to me, like I can talk. I can't wait to start talking about some of this stuff. But like when I do get a sign or something, like yeah, it bothers me. But the only difference is like when I do see something or tell me something, I like to pray and ask about it too. Like why can't it be this, or show me why can't it be that, or why can't you try to compromise? Like I try to like, I talk to God about like a lot of personal stuff, like my family, friends, and all that stuff. And I try to like, instead of it being one way, I try to see like, can we compromise this or can we compromise that? And I like reach out to those people too, just to see if there's a way I can get it on the same page. And even though it doesn't work out, like especially for my mom right now, like I've been praying for my mom for a while. She's just crazy. But I still pray about it, and I still like talk about it and ask for it to be a different way. But it isn't just, sometimes it's just not how it plays out. Like you show me straight up, and it's just not going to end up being the other way around. Like, yeah, with God, like, yeah, his, like what he tells me and what he showed me, like, yeah, of course, like I want to go to heaven. Like if he's telling me, calls me out on this, I got to stop it. And that's actually something like, is a video that I have in my camera roll. And I think I sent it to you, Emmanuel, that popped up on my For You page, no hashtags or nothing. And like the video, I'll send it to the Bible group chat after this, but it felt so real and so directed towards me. And it caused me, that's when I actually, around the same time, I started to pull myself together too, just because of that one video. Like, even though it was through someone else, like you could feel like it's, you could feel that it was like you were meant to see this, like this is God telling you something, because he doesn't always have to like show you or talk to you in your head or something like that. Like he can use other things, other people to talk to you. So now it's up to like me to like make that change. Like I saw that and I knew it was from God. So now it's like, that's when I started to pull myself together, because I knew I was slipping up and I knew the stuff I was doing wrong. So God does have that impact on me as well. That's like, I say some people have, like, I wouldn't say those people, I don't want to say I put those people before God, because like I said, like my relationship with God comes first. But what would or what could God do to piss me off? Like, I don't think God could piss me off. Like, what would he, what could, like, so it's like, I don't know. Like, I'm not saying those, like, there's certain people I put before God, but there's certain people who can make me feel something or would make me feel a certain way that God wouldn't make me feel a certain way. Mm-hmm. So I think to answer that question, then yes, like God does have the impact on me, but I wouldn't say to an extent, because he can make me feel angry, like he can do anything, but he wouldn't. So it just depends on the situation.
So
I was just gonna like, so do you feel like you need to work for your approval to God? Like, are you trying to like prove yourself to God, or is it just like you already know he knows what you're capable of?
Well,
That's
I
all.
know he already knows what I'm capable of. just cause of the relationship. Like I admitted that I slipped up, and I only slipped up for like a year and a half. Like me sinning only happened like summer 2020. That's when I started slipping up and stuff. But before that, I had a good relationship with God, and even like now, I just started rebuilding that relationship again. And I still have like I mess up every day, and there's still certain things I have to do to like prove myself to God, because everyone messes up, and you have to consistently. Oh, back to consistency. You have to consistently keep proving your worth to God, and like getting that approval. But at the same time, I'll finish the statement. But like at the same time, like God knows what I'm capable of becoming and what I can end up doing. I know God sees me as highly as I see myself. Like I'm not saying I'm perfect, because I know my faults and I know when I mess up. And sometimes I don't know when I mess up, and it comes to me at a later time that I messed up. But at the same time, I don't think God looks at me as lowly as other people could, like other people close to me could.
Okay.
I'm done, man.
I was just thinking, you said it's like you feel like you kind of have to prove that you're committed to him.
Yeah, you have to, like, I can't go around telling people like, yeah, I do this every day and not do it, because okay, I'm getting their approval on it, but God's not approving on it. And at the end of the day, he's the one who we're going to have to face. So I'd rather have his approval than their approval. Like God's relationship is important. Like God does come first to me. And that's something I stress a lot. Like I'm not going to do this just because you want me to, or this and that because you want me to. Especially like, I feel like the only example I have left now, because I did end up doing some other things. Okay, actually, now that I think about it, there's plenty of sins that I like haven't messed up. Like I don't steal, I don't curse. I guess if y'all can say damn is a cuss word, and I guess I do cuss, but I don't think it's a cuss word. But like I don't steal, I don't cuss. I'm still a virgin, and like there's things like I always kept with me, but at the same time, only thing like big sin that I messed up is like staying sober. Like I couldn't stay sober. That was like the big thing I couldn't do. Like I was high, cross or something. I was crossed like every weekend. I was high every day, every single day since like the summer of 2020. Like that was rough for me. But yeah, besides that, like now that I stopped doing that and stuff, I'm still constantly proving myself to God. And like I have to keep doing this every day, because the second you fall off, that's not getting the approval. And I get like we're meant to sin. But once you fall off, like, yeah, he can forgive you for this, but you don't have his approval in doing what you're doing. But God's approval and like people close to me approval, like those are two different things. Like, for example, DJ and Emmanuel, like Emmanuel's approval is different from like DJ can say he don't like what I'm doing, and I really wouldn't care. Like me and DJ don't have a special relationship, but Emmanuel's like, hey, you need to stop this. Then that's the approval. Like, okay, I do need to turn around and do something. So it just depends on the person and the relationship, but it's all separated from like me and God. Like mine and God's come first, and then everyone else's. But at the same time, you still want to be accepted by everyone, especially like the people closest to you.
So I like that. So this is a question for everybody. So I like what you said there, but I wanted to ask, how does your relationship with God trickle down into your other relationships as a whole?
Like me, okay, so I was telling you about that girl, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she stopped believing in God when her grandma died. So the opposite of Aaliyah, which is like, I found that like surprising. So she stopped believing in God once her grandma died, because she wanted answers and didn't know where to find them. So she's stopped falling off. Now, me and her were like unadded and blocked on everything. But then something happened to me. I saw something while I was in the shower, and that caused me to reach out to all the like people who I was close with. So I reached out to my best friends, everything. I ended up, even though I had a new number, like she didn't have my number blocked, but she had me blocked and everything else. So I like added on everything else and texted her. I'm like, hey, do this. This is important. And I believe that like if I didn't see what I saw, then me and her probably still wouldn't be talking today. So like, and I like that's what got her. That's how she ended up, like, she prayed that night, said a prayer of repentance and stuff, and got saved and stuff, along with like a couple of my other friends. One of them, Dom, he went to a priest and stuff like that, just cause like I don't want them to end up suffering. And that's why I constantly talk to them about God. So it's not like, I don't think I'm saying, I don't know if that's putting God first or putting like them, like my relationship and feelings for them first. Cause like I reached out to all the people because I know what's going to end up happening. Like it could be in a few years or a few months or whatever. Like God's timing is not our timing, but like I know what's to come. So, and I'm not saying I know it like perfectly when and where, but like I got the idea of what's about to come. And but because I care about those people, that's the only reason why I reached out to them and like told them that. Like I didn't reach out to everyone at once. I didn't go around telling everyone, posting on my Instagram story and stuff like, hey, your guys need to get saved. So no, I reached out to the people closest to me who I actually cared about. And then like slowly, one by one or two by two or something, like I'm getting other people closer to God. But I don't know how to balance that. Like, which one would you say came first? Like my relationship to those people, which is why I reached out to them, or is it because God wants people to get saved, which is why I reached out? Like, I reached out to them because I care about them and I don't want them to suffer, not because, like I'm saying, like I still spread the word of God just because that's what he wants me to do, but that wasn't my main purpose of reaching out to them originally. It was because I didn't want them to end up suffering.
Right. And God loves souls, and that's a reflection of what he desires to do, which is exactly, he didn't come for the righteous, he came to call the sinners to repentance. So he came down.
But my purpose behind it, though,
because you cared about them, right?
Yeah. So like, would that be?
In a way, isn't that technically putting them first?
Yeah, that's what I'm confused about.
Because
that is a good question.
Like if I, like for one, because I'm pretty sure, like for one, if that stuff didn't happen to me, then like that girl, me and her wouldn't be talking about it. Like we still be blocked each other on everything.
Right.
But at the same time, I still cared about her and I knew what was going down. So it's like, is that putting her first, or is it like?
So, you're right. I think Aaliyah has a good point there. You see what Aaliyah said?
Yep.
Relationships are bad at all, because I completely understand. And so I know, sorry for interrupting if I interrupted anybody. It's just like with my sister, I feel very passionate. I want her to know God. And I'm like, okay, why do I feel this way for her, but I don't feel this way for God's other children? You know, I feel like that's kind of the point you're getting. Like, why don't I feel this way towards anybody else? Why is it only these people? Is it because I care for them more, or is it because I actually want them to have a relationship with God? You know, and to me, like whenever I heard you say that, like I did not think that you had selfish motives in that. I feel like we all want our closest friends and family to be saved because we know them so well. And I would love to have that heart for all of God's people. And like literally, like when you were explaining your story about like your mom and everything, I was getting teary-eyed. I probably looked like I was like going crazy. I was like getting teary-eyed. And it's like, because God has given me like a heart of compassion. And sometimes it's tough sometimes. I just want to cry all the time. Whenever I feel but then it's like, to me, when I heard you explaining that, I feel like you were displaying God's love for us and how he felt towards us, that strong emotion. Like, I don't want this person to suffer. I want them to be with me. I want them to experience the goodness that I'm going to. And it's like, I feel like you were displaying God's earnest heart for us and how he wants us to be with him. And like, I would even pray about it and say, God, like, don't take this away, but God, help me grow this compassion, so I can have it towards other people and all of your children. That's a beautiful thing, really.
One thing that I do like, I'm sorry, you can go.
I was gonna say that reminded me, like when Jesus was down here, like walking the earth and stuff, and how he's teaching his people, or teaching the people about his character and who he was. Like Aaliyah said, like showing compassion for everybody, and like his sacrifice of dying, if that makes sense. Like I would have, it's hard to, okay, so like, do you know what I'm trying to say though? Like, he okay, so he had like
Me, my
no, like like how he had like the disciples, right?
yeah,
How
I
he
know what you're
saved
trying
them
to say. It's like a
first.
trickle effect.
Yeah, and then like the butterfly effect. And then like he used them to help spread
The word to
the word
others
to
and so
everybody else,
forth.
to like his other children, so that they could, yeah. If that makes sense. I think DJ can explain it better.
So what she's trying to
He can
say
explain
is,
it better.
so what she's trying to say is, so Jesus had his 12 disciples, right? And he was close to like Peter, and well, he was mainly close to Peter. But anywho, it went from the 12 disciples, they went and he taught them, and then they started teaching others when he left. And sure enough, like we know, with the phone, like the telephone, people start teaching each other over, and it goes down and down past generations, almost like traditions and like stories, and that's where the Bible is from, like writing down, like God giving his word and it's spreading to others. It's like an effect. Like I get what you're saying, Jamari. Like I feel the same way towards my brother who isn't. It's like we care for the ones closest to us because we know them the best. So it's like I know what you're capable of and I know what God can do for you. So why wouldn't I want you to experience the same thing? And then you look at some stranger and you're like, well, I don't know you. I don't know what your character is. I don't know what you're gonna say. So therefore I don't feel the same way, but I still want you to get to know God in a sense. But realistically, it's like you gotta start where you can. I will say that I'm glad you're starting off with your close people because that's better than most. Most people are scared to start with their close people. I was one of them. I started a whole TikTok account, got 15K people I didn't even know, and was too scared to spread it to my own friends. It's weird for some people. Like me, I start with strangers and work my way in. For others, you start close and work your way out, but you got to start somewhere. And I'm glad you're starting somewhere. And eventually, like Aaliyah said, you pray for that heart. Like I want to have a compassionate heart for everybody, and you're working that muscle. Sure enough, you will have that heart for others, and you won't like. You already seem like a bold person. That's a good thing. So I feel like you would actually like go up to somebody and be like, "Hey, I'm gonna pray for you. Hey, you want to go to church, or hey, you want to talk about God, or hey, you want to build a relationship with God." So it's really just like start where you can and work from there. So don't pressure yourself too much right now about that. All right, if
Yeah.
that helps.
One thing I
that's what I
have, sorry, one thing I am happy about is like my personality is because like I'm not scared to say or do anything to anyone in public or whatever. Like that's just who like I'm not like people's opinions unless you're like close to me. People's opinions don't matter, and that's like something like I'm happy to like. My athletic director, I told him like I don't know what your relationship is God like, but I know it helps me a lot. I recommend it to you. Like I go up to random people all the time. Like, I got a friend on the track team, and me and him aren't close. Like we don't even Snapchat each other, nothing. But I needed a ride to the grocery store to get some food, and we were talking about he has some family issues too. And I told him this right after you dropped me off. I said, I know we're not that close, and you can think I'm crazy or not, but I don't care. What I need you to do is I really recommend that you build that relationship with God because something's going to happen. It'll help you a lot, this and that. Like I go around telling people all the time, like, I don't care if you know me. I don't care if you think I'm crazy. It doesn't matter. Go ahead and I need you to start building a relationship with God. I told that to my friend Joseph the other day. Every time I get the opportunity to, I don't care who the person is. I can just go out and say it. Like, that's just who I am. Like, I remember, like, this is an example of it, but like in middle school, people could dare me to do something. I'd go around and just straight up do it. Like, Emmanuel, you remember I don't even know if you like remember me in middle school. I used to wear wigs sometimes for a joke or put my coat under my shirt to walk around like a buff dude or something like that. It's just like, I'm not scared to like go out and do that stuff. So like, I can start to the people close to me, but at the same time, it's like, the same thing I can go out and tell my family, I can go out and tell in person. Now, I think the part where I am shy is like through social media, just because like, I don't know, like I am transitioning to talking more about God on my social media and stuff, like my Visco, my Instagram, my Snapchat stories every now and then. Like I am slowly easing my way into that, but at the same time, like that's not something like my social media isn't something I'm known for. I'm known for my personality, like in person and how I treat people, not what I put out on social media. So that's something I need to work into. Like, this is how you see me in person. This is how I am on the internet. And that's just something I need to like ease into. But at the same time, I'm not really scared. I don't care what people think. It's just, that's not something I'm not used to doing, or something I don't do. So it's just something I need to be able to have and do. But in terms of like going out and reaching out to people, we're starting, like that's good, like for people. But for me, it's like, I can start wherever. Like if I could have, like honestly, when school starts, I can honestly like go out into the food like courtyard, like go to the food place with the dining hall, and I can stand on the table and like start like I'm not scared to do that out in public. But if I were to start spreading that and ranting on the internet, that's like, this isn't something I do, and I'd probably hesitate to post it a little bit just because that's not something I do. But I am like easing my way towards that. I'm slowly doing more.
Yeah, just do what you can handle.
I feel like my social media presence bothers me more than like my actual presence, if that makes sense. Oh, well, I'm done. Why everybody frozen? Hello?
I hear you.
Have you frozen? Huh?
You lagged a little bit.
Oh, I'm back. I'm back.
Okay.
She over there messing with the Wi-Fi box.
She moved rooms. So now.
Hello? Bro, why I keep freezing them? I should take a screenshot of this. Some of y'all look funny.
Bro, I think it's because she moved rooms now. But it's okay, I think.
Am I the only one lagging?
No, everybody lagging. Like, I can hear, but y'all like frozen.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Can you see this?
Wi-Fi.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Okay, we're good.
All right, so any final thoughts? Because
I
kinda
just
wanna
didn't
talk
want to
as
say
much.
anything, but I wanted to give everybody a chance to talk or make a comment or something like that.
Yeah, I did go on for a while. My bad, guys.
No, you're good. Cause like, I understand. Me personally, I'm not really a talker. I'm more so show and go. That's it. So even just like what you say you do, yeah, I'm not doing that ever. So if anything, I prefer like building. Yeah, I'm more of a, like you said a while ago, like a one-on-one type of guy. I'm more like a one-on-one type of guy. Like if you want to know, I'll tell you, and I'll talk to you and do work with you on that. But like, if I were to speak in front of a crowd, I can do it. But yeah, that takes a little bit of a week-long preparation time, I'd say.
Like I could just do it on the fly.
Yeah, I just look at you like this. So if we ever do anything together, you're doing all the crazy stuff. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Anyone else got some final thoughts?
I have a question, and this is not on topic whatsoever, so I'm so sorry. So like I'm a kinesiology major, and I have to like keep an exercise log, right? And so I was walking around campus. I walked like 2 miles. But like if you've like been around like physical activity and stuff like that, you know that like physical activity has to be intentional and things like that. That's like one of the rules for physical activity. And like I walked around campus, so that can I count that in my exercise log?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
2
exercise.
miles is too long to be walking to not catalog.
Okay,
Walking is a form of cardio.
I was wondering, so I was like, I wasn't really doing it with the intention of exercising. It was a pretty day outside, and I just wanted to walk and get out, you know? So,
Technically, it was
See,
intentional.
it was intentional because it was a
With the
pretty
weather.
day out.
Yeah, you had to
I'm not
read.
trying to walk down this hallway 10 times. I'm not trying to do it for 30 minutes.
Wait, where do you go to school?
I go to University of North Carolina at Greensboro.
You're in Carolina?
Yes.
Wow.
You have an accent too. Are you from a lower down south somewhere?
I am from a small town called Walnut Cove.
Where's
Where's
that?
And do you know where Winston-Salem is? Ever heard of it?
Mm-mm. I know I've heard of cigarettes, but I haven't heard of that.
Wait.
Bro.
Don't they have Greensboro on the show or something? Like,
It's not in The Simpsons. I know that's Springfield. Like,
wait,
wait, what
No,
state? What
man.
state? Give me a state, and I might have a look.
Virginia.
North
Oh,
Carolina.
you're from North
Carolina.
Carolina?
Yeah.
That's
Oh.
the South, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm feeling weird. You know, there's
I'm
Very
so
People
dumb. I feel like
hopping?
North Carolina should be up there somewhere. South should be down there somewhere.
No, it's
I wish.
isn't it like by
It's on the west.
those on the west side, right?
No, the east side.
East Coast, East Coast, East Coast.
My bad. East.
The gang side. Yeesh, that's a distance.
What's that?
So you're going for kinesiology. Cool.
Wait, isn't the time different over there too?
Huh?
Yeah, it's almost
It's almost my
yeah.
reflection time.
10 o'clock.
It's almost
I feel
9.
bad. It was so bad.
Feel
No, it's
bad.
almost 10 over there.
Oh,
It's
is
an
it?
hour. Yes, it's
Don't you
almost
gotta go to
10.
sleep?
56 over here. I thought I missed the Zoom link, but then Daniel was like, "You're in a different time zone." I was like, "Oh."
Oh, for your hour ahead.
An hour ahead. Jeez. That's commitment right there.
I just have like an 8 a.m. class in the morning. It's fine. I'll live. There's coffee right there.
Exactly.
See, I never made it to
Coffee
my
and Red Bull.
Coffee is a drug that you don't want to get addicted to.
Happy.
No offense.
It's too late for me. I'm too far gone for that.
Too far
one.
gone. No.
Coffee.
Do you like Starbucks? They're pretty good sometimes.
That's what's right on my campus. It's like not even 5 minutes from me, and I can like Grubhub it, so it's already there when I order it online.
Grubhub it.
Oh,
like
my
the ice
delivery is
cream
worth
stuff.
it, bro. You don't have to move
Yeah, I get it.
anything. That's my
Exactly.
I'll be Get apping it. We
Oh,
got an
did you?
app called Get.
Didn't you DoorDash some food earlier? Yesterday?
Yeah.
I just had
Little
Marcus come to
Caesars.
the house.
Little
Marcus
Caesars.
stay coming to the house.
Bro, Little Caesars is okay. They be slacking sometimes.
It tastes like cardboard.
You know they cheese stuffed crust pizza is so greasy. Oh my gosh, bro. Like it's a pain to eat. It's like
Domino's is better.
Domino's
is better.
No,
Domino's has no crust. You
Domino's only has
Sounds like-
good bread. That's it.
right. It's not. It's no. Domino's has issues that we cannot discuss.
Their pizza tastes
You guys
like
are haters.
sprinkles.
You guys are all haters. You guys
No, get out. Go.
You mean like Domino's because you get free bread and that's it.
Their bread is so good.
Yeah, they better than
Their cheesy
okay.
bread.
Now let's talk about cheese stuffed sticks or whatever they're called. Little Caesars trash. Like
Yes.
Huh?
like
No,
you know
they do
those
not
cheese
do
that.
stuff like huh? Yeah, the cheese sticks are bad. Little
Oh, they're
Caesars,
good. Bro. The garlic
Oh.
cheese sticks?
Mm-mm.
at Little Caesars?
Like the slice and sticks pizza type cheese sticks?
Oh no, not that one. Like the cheese stuffed crazy
The
bread.
cheesy bread.
I don't
Their
eat
bread
cheese.
isn't that good.
Oh, you uncultured. I'm sorry.
I don't like cheese that much.
Does it put it in the
I
toilet?
always, no, it sinks.
Oh. Oh. I don't like peas because they
I eat a lot of protein.
mm-hmm. Isn't cheese
Pure
protein?
protein.
Like,
Cheese is dairy.
eggs.
To be a form of protein.
Come on now. Did you just say cheese is protein? Come on, bro. Ain't no way.
Who just said cheese is protein?
Yeah.
Who was
Huh?
it? Who was it?
Emmanuel.
I didn't
Leave
say
the
it.
call.
No, I'm not. Come on, y'all. It was me, bro.
Might want to go back to school.
All right. So, oh yeah, just so you guys know, we do have to change the day and maybe the time because, you know, stuff.
Bible study.
Yeah, because we actually were supposed to have a church Bible study today that we didn't know about when we planned this. So we'll have to have a discussion in the group chat about like what times work for you guys and what days, because Tuesdays I guess won't work. It's sad.
That's fine with me.
I don't know, I just liked it. How did you guys feel about the first ever, meeting your Bible study today?
And one at a time now.
Hey, we learned something.
Okay. Any thoughts
I
or
learned
suggestions?
some stuff that I should be doing.
Yeah, me too. I just like the different perspectives. It's really interesting to see what everybody has to think and everybody's studying, opening up about. Oh, and while we're here, we need another topic, unless you guys want to continue on consistency. Anything
Bro,
like
we
that.
didn't get to say how we felt.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And cutting all three of us off. Look at y'all. I'll let y'all go first. The iPhone and Aaliyah go first.
I don't know, yeah.
First.
Go ahead.
Why you cackling like that?
What's supposed to be happening?
I don't know. You just give
What
it
do we
thoughts. He said,
I just thought that how Bible study went.
yeah, how you feel?
I feel really motivated and encouraged because I think just hearing everyone's story, like Jamari and then DJ talking about his anger issues too, and just everyone kind of giving their input on and also just being able to have humility and expressing your life situations, even I barely know y'all, and it's literally just being able for y'all to express your life situations, and it's really cool to be able to do that, especially in a small group. And yeah, and especially with young people too. It's really good to see people on fire for God. And I can tell every one of you in here is trying to know God deeper. And it's just it's really good to see.
Amen.
Good answer.
Good answer. He said. Come on, right.
iPhone.
I thought it was pretty good. It's being able to just talk and go on different tangents on what consistency is to us and how we were able to see different perspectives and learn more about ourselves, if that makes sense. And how it could show in different forms in our lives and how we treat others and treat our relationships with God and people.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
Amen. So, do you guys want to continue on the topic, or you guys want to spread out to something else?
Excuse me.
Daniel didn't go yet. He didn't
I thought you
calm
did.
down.
He was like,
He didn't go yet.
I'm gonna let him go now.
No.
Talking all loud. I'm
DJ.
Say the word.
Preach,
you see, now, brother, I had
irritated.
Let me stop. It was actually, it was good for the first time. I say, I really like hearing people's inputs and people's stories and stuff. It's really good to hear other people how they study, when they see different perspectives, because it really opens your mind and stuff. Yeah, it was good. Yeah, can't wait for more. Yeah. Now you can talk. So
Stop spitting.
Man, first of all, I want to say I appreciate each and every last one of you guys, because it isn't easy. I know it's not easy. It took almost 2 hours. It did take 2 hours, but it was a meaningful 2 hours. I appreciated it. It was really fun, honestly. So next time we got to bring that energy again. You know what I'm saying? Because the more fun we have, I actually feel like the more engaged we'll get, and I actually feel like the deeper we'll go within these studies. We have another guy, his name is Drew. He's going to be coming into these. He's a fun guy. Ow, chicken nuggets. I pinch myself, but he'll be coming along with us. Hopefully the other people in the group chat begin to engage, but with this small group, I feel like we had a lot of very intimate conversations and very open playing fields for collaboration and cooperation. So I first off want to say I appreciate everybody for being willing and open to talking and expressing how they feel, and actually taking the time to look into the study, because I know sometimes some people don't have time or even want to, because it can feel like a school assignment. Like, not even gonna lie to you, it can feel like a school assignment when you have a set thing to study about. So I just want to say thank you guys for all doing that and taking the time to commit a little bit of your time to studying our topic.
Amen. For the greater good.
For the greater good, right? Because
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep saying this, and I might not say it exactly the same, but as we go, we're gonna grow. You know what I'm saying? As we go, we're gonna grow. And each and every day, each and every week, we'll progress in our walk with the Lord, find the 100% salvation, give it all to Him, and eventually make a footprint on this earth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's only starting here, guys. This is just the start. You know what I'm saying? Eventually, you got to branch out. So thank you. Now, the final question is, do you want to continue this topic or new topic next week?
New topic, raise your hand. Oh, okay, never mind.
It doesn't matter to me. So what do you guys think you want to talk about? Like,
let's talk about No, I got nothing. Let's talk about faith.
Faith, okay. That's option one, faith. Leah, you said you have something to say?
Anger.
Anger, faith, anger. Okay,
That's a good topic. That's a good topic right there.
That's an interesting topic. Actually,
you seconded. We would do that.
no. Let's do. We can do anger. Yeah.
Anger. That's 2 for anger. DJ.
Yeah.
Probably anger.
Anger. So 3 for anger. But Jamari, we will do faith.
No,
But
we gonna do faith. Don't worry about that, my brother. You gonna do it.
But I'm telling
That's
you,
because, I think faith is like one of the most important things you need to have in order to get in heaven.
Right. And that since it's gonna be it's gonna be probably a month-long study for us. If anything, I'm not even gonna cap. Faith is a deep, important subject for each and every last one of us. So it probably won't be a 1-week thing. But anger, I feel like we can all learn a lot from it. And in this time and season where we are growing and developing, that would be a pretty good topic to work on. So I'm gonna put that in my notes. And yeah, I mean, awesome study today, awesome conversations. We love you. God loves you.
We love you too.
Right? I'll see you next week.
Yeah, next week.
All right. I don't know when. We'll figure it out. Pieces.
What the cheese?
Adios.